Hi, it's Hillary. Welcome to my channel where I discuss books, games, and lifestyle. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more of my shenanigans. It's time for another episode of Books and Builds. Today I'm discussing A Long Stretch of Bad Days by Mindy McGinnis and building a tiny home based on Lil Simsey's Shell Challenge. I want to start a legacy challenge on my channel, and I figured that this would be the perfect way to begin that. Before I discuss the book, I'd like to thank NetGalley and Catherine Teigen Books for providing an e-arc in exchange for an honest review. Lydia has worked her entire life to leave Henley, Ohio. She knows she's destined to be a hard-hitting journalist and wants to escape the drudgery of small-town life. Bristol is quite the opposite. She's the school troublemaker with pent-up rage and a family with a bad reputation. So what do these two have in common? Not much, but when they both learn that their guidance counselor made an error leaving both short a credit for graduation, they end up working together on Lydia's existing podcast about Henley. Instead of heartwarming tales, though, they investigate the town's infamous long stretch of bad days. During this ill-fated week in 1994, a tornado ripped through town, followed by a flash flood. Add the town's first and only unsolved murder into the mix, and you have a recipe for a gripping investigative podcast. I should have mentioned this earlier, but massive trigger warnings for animal death, assault, and sexual assault in the book. As Bristol and Lydia work together, they quickly realize that things quite aren't as they seem. All they know is that the town's secrets must come to light if they're going to figure this out. Lydia is stubborn and clueless about how other people in the town live, and I think that is why some readers might not like her as a character. But I definitely saw growth for her throughout the book because Bristol constantly challenged Lydia's privilege, and Lydia definitely goes through some things in the book that make her question her own family and their motives. So yeah, at the beginning she's almost unbearable, but by the end of the book I definitely have an appreciation for her as a character. Bristol, on the other hand, intrigued and captivated me from the beginning just because she just doesn't seem to care about anything, and that's just so cool to me. That appeals to me. I want to be that type of person. Her podcast episodes also featured some of the book's much needed lighter moments, so I absolutely appreciated that. Some of the big twists and reveals in the book did not surprise me just because I've read a lot of mystery thrillers that are similar to this. And also, I think all of the hints led to the final conclusion. But it didn't actually affect or hinder my enjoyment of the book. I still really enjoyed it. I ended up rating it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And if you've read and loved books like Sadie, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, or The Night Swim, then I think you'll appreciate A Long Stretch of Bad Days. The book had everything I love in a mystery thriller, and once I started reading it, I could not stop. I seriously read the book in less than 24 hours, and I felt completely satisfied with the conclusion, and I cannot say that about every thriller I've read. There have been so many where I've liked most of the story, and then the big reveal at the end just leaves me wanting more. That didn't happen here. I really liked the dynamic between the characters and the small town setting, so I highly recommend this book. Like I said, definitely some trigger warnings for it, so look into those if you think that it might upset you. But I think if you want a good new thriller, then you should read A Long Stretch of Bad Days. Now I should talk about the build. The founding sim for my legacy challenge is creative and has the knitting aspiration. I love starting legacy challenges on smaller lots like this one, and especially in tiny homes, because that way the Sims can start strong, gives them an advantage. I also added some lot traits just to make things a little more interesting, and I'm already thinking ahead to the next generation. I want to try to challenge myself to choose different aspirations, jobs, and lot traits, because I tend to gravitate toward the same things. So eliminating the things that I've used for at least a few generations really appeals to me for this challenge. And I also think I would like to move each heir onto another lot in Newcrest. So basically, I am slowly building up Newcrest in this legacy challenge. Maybe this is because it's spring, but I felt like I needed to lean into lighter colors and pastels for this build. I love the pink refrigerator from Cottage Living, and I really think that the Sims team has done a great job of providing pink swatches that look nice and go well together. They're not perfect, but you certainly cannot say that certain things look decent with different packs. You can't say that about all of them. I also liked the idea of my Sim being really into tea and coffee, so that's what I'm putting up now. I end up moving it later, but yeah, my Sim just really likes a good cozy time. I haven't decided if my Sim will marry a townie or a random Sim from the gallery, but I do plan on gradually expanding this house so it'll fit a family. I have not played with baby since the infant update, and I am terrified. For some reason, I really struggled with the wall decor for this particular house. I think it's just because it's such a small house and it's hard to fit furniture in there without actually blocking the Sims path. And even though they're much smarter in The Sims 4, they still get stuck in places all the time. So I am actually done with the interior for the most part, and I'm about to start working on the exterior. And I love the cottage living windows. They're just so cute. Now I'm actually working on the exterior. I had such a hard time finding the right brick, but I do like the stone that I picked. I'm not sure if I'll feel that way the next time I see it, but as of right now, I think it looks nice. The roof was a nightmare, and I know that Lil Simsy did that on purpose, because if roofing is hard, she wants us to struggle. But I think I figured that out in the end. At this point, I'm still struggling, but so what I'm about to do with the roof makes the house look a little bigger than it actually is. And it's one of those situations where if you don't look, it's just not there. It's not a problem. I turned it into a covered patio, but once I get further into the Legacy Challenge, it's definitely going to be another room. So then the roof won't look so silly. should have paid closer attention to the budget because at this point I'm having too much fun with the landscaping. And I ended up having to delete some flowers so I could have an outside trash can, which I unfortunately forgot. I think it's just because in earlier Sims games, the outside trash can is just there next to the mailbox. So I'm still not used to putting them in my builds. Now I am working on adding some finishing touches. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you're into that sort of thing. I will see you next week. Bye!